there's a few words that come up in the Bible that are used to reference what is now known as the singular figure who is the devil or Satan.
Hmm.
They relate it to the serpent in the Garden of Eden, and
Yep.
then they'll take it to the fall of Lucifer that's mentioned in Isaiah,
Mhm.
and then I believe in the New Testament it's largely the Greek word diablos, which is translated devil.
Mhm.
Satan itself means persecutor or adversary.
Mhm.
So you can kind of see if you take the Garden of Eden story as allegory, and the serpent is the slyest beast of the field. It's crawling on its belly. You don't see it come until it hits you.
Mhm.
Um, it's the thing that tells you to go after your lusts, go after whatever feels good. So you can see how like your adversary is your own will. Like you're going to fuck up. You're going to do something stupid or wrong. You're going to feel bad for it. And like that's Satan working inside of you if you see that the way that allegory is. And
Mhm.
I'll take it to Lucifer in Isaiah where it talks about the fall from heaven. If you actually look at that in context, it's talking about seemingly Nebuchadnezzar, so like a historical Babylonian king who like he thought he was the most powerful person on earth, and he probably was at the time. But the story is saying that like you too are going to fall, and it actually says you will be eaten by the worms. Like you're going to die. You think it's Lucifer is said in irony, meaning light bearer, the enlightened one. So it's
Mhm.
saying you think you're so enlightened now, but you too are just mortal, and you will be, going to the dust as everybody does. Um, and then it's not until the New Testament Diablos where it starts to actually seem like another being, like it's personified. This also takes place in the book of Job, but that's a far more complicated issue that I'm not willing to go into right now. Um, but you have stuff like Jesus talking to Satan and arguing with him in the desert and stuff like that. The the distinction seems to have happened, historically speaking, around the time that the Jews were exiled into Babylon.
Mhm.
Um, it was at that point where like what was known as the Old Testament was actually put together in a coherent fashion. And the thing about Babylon is that they were Zoroastrians,
Were
and
they? I didn't
yes,
know about that.
or
Huh.
yes, and it was an early form of it, I believe. I have a quote from Manly P. Hall, 33rd degree Mason. 33rd
Oh.
degree Mason. According to the Persians, there coexisted in eternity two principles. The first of these, Ahura Mazda, or Ormuzd, was the spirit of good. From Ormuzd came forth a number of hierarchies of good and beautiful spirits, angels and archangels. The second of these eternally existing principles was called Ahriman. He was also a pure and beautiful spirit, but he later rebelled against Ormuzd, being jealous of his power. This did not occur, however, until after Ormuzd had created light, for previously Ahriman had not been conscious of the existence of Ormuzd. Because of his jealousy and rebellion, Ahriman became the spirit of evil. From himself, he individualized a host of destructive creatures to injure Ormuzd. So you see almost the exact story of the fall of Satan that we know in the New Testament.
Mhm.
And like if you look at the Old Testament, generally you can kind of see the context of Satan being an allegory. So it seems that it was once taken captive in Babylon, they kind of assimilated some of the Persian doctrines of the time. And it seems like this Araman character became the devil that we know today, largely.
That's actually interesting, and something I wanted to bring up. You said that they, I guess, sarcastically called him the light bringer,
Yes.
which is interesting because if you look at the Garden of Eden story, like he brought like knowledge to Eve when she ate the apple. Of course, a woman, disobeying God. But
Exactly.
so the light bringer giving knowledge, forbidden knowledge, quote unquote, to humans. I don't know. That's very interesting.
Yeah, so it's the enlightenment in you that the serpent granted, and that's how you get the connection to Lucifer there. I think what's also interesting is that in Revelation it says, "I Jesus have sent my angel to testify to you these things. For the churches, I am the root and the descendant of David, the bright and morning star." bright and morning star, that it means the literal same thing as Lucifer. If you like look up sources of Lucifer, it'll say morning star.
Yeah, yeah.
So Jesus himself, he calls himself the morning star. And just like
Hmm.
in, where is it, Isaiah, how you have fallen from heaven, O star of the morning, son of the dawn. You've been cut down to the earth, you who have weakened the nations. From Isaiah, referencing Lucifer, what seems to be in context a Babylonian king.
Huh. Wow, that's actually pretty interesting.
Takes me to my next point is the Gnostics, the Christian Gnostics,
That's
and
always
that,
something I've wanted to like really delve into and learn a lot about.
well, what is Satan to them? You know, right?
I haven't actually
It's
done
the,
enough.
well, in
Yeah.
the Old Testament, that they see that God as Satan, the one who created the material world. To them, the
Oh,
material world are the shackles that are holding us down from knowing God, and Jesus came to set us free from that. That takes me to like Hinduism, and to them, like what's holding us back, they call Maya, the illusion, and it is the conviction that we have that we are individuals experiencing like individual things, when really all of existence is one. So they say like the same thing pretty much, is that it's the material world that is Satan. Like that was all created by the other force. We're trying to get past that.
I can definitely see that. I mean, because if you think about it, like consumerism and hypercapitalism is literally like driving you away from God, honestly. Because if you look at like church attendance rates 50 years ago for America, it was so much higher than it is now. And now, if you look at church attendance rates now, like it's literally 90% of the people have gray hair, so they're all boomers. And this hyper capitalist society that they got us thrust into are literally spending Sundays either working or going to see like this Marvel movie or this horror movie. And it's just like driving people away from religion because they don't see it as a kind of viable perspective to
Oh
go
yeah.
into anymore.
Oh my God. I'm putting the image on screen of Aleister Crowley and Barbara Bush. She's the
Yeah.
daughter of the beast. It's a fucking spitting image. You can't deny it. It's absolutely fantastic.
I mean,
So,
it's pretty, you know.
do you remember what the story is on that? I think it was just Crowley was banging probably Bush's grandfather, if I had to guess, and he had a baby, and it was Barbara Bush.
I think
That was the
so.
moon
Yeah.
child.
Yep. I think it's
I don't
exactly
remember.
what happened.
I don't remember, but yeah, Aleister Crowley totally looks like Barbara Bush. It's true.
I
Yeah.
mean, the resemblance is uncanny.
An associate of mine once quoted Crowley in saying, "Magic is stored in the butt." That's the thing. If we're talking about Crowley, like you can't get away from all of this like kid shit. Like that was specifically crap he was writing about
Wow, I can't believe all these different people are into kid shit.
while he
That's
was doing
weird.
fucking terrible drugs and communicating with interdimensional aliens, like the one I have on screen now, Lamb. What does that remind you of when that pops up? What do you see in that?
Hmm. Oh, I don't know.
Couldn't possibly be a fucking typical gray, could it?
Hmm. Hmm. I'm stroking my beard. Hmm.
It's fucking weird. When he was just fucking shooting heroin and talking to the spirits. That's the life.
Sounds fun.
Hell yeah. Well, his ideas seem to have influenced a lot of the crap they attribute to the elites and the satanic ritual abuse and all of that shit. And you know, coming up in the news now with fucking Epstein, gets the blood boiling, doesn't it?
Dude, oh, this entire like week has been fucking infuriating for me. And it's so funny that we have like been completely vindicated from the things that we have said in the past.
Dude,
And it's just like,
you can say that, but like it should have been 2006. So maybe it's not even 2019. Maybe this shit will somehow just get memory hold. Like I'm talking to boomers. Oh man, some of them like don't get it. I've talked to the reasonable ones who get it.
yeah.
Some of them do not get it. Like it
Some of them
literally,
definitely do not.
but and not to mention like The media is not going to cover that this could very likely be a Mossad plot to blackmail the entirety of the U.S.